OK, it's time now to say hello to our guests. One is the First Lady of British tennis and the other has been called the most influential and hardest working woman in US comedy. So let's welcome Sue Barker and Tina Fey. There you go. There you go. Welcome to the show, both of you.
Thank you.
Sue, I'll start with you. Tennis season is fully upon us.
It is.
Currently, Roland Garros is in full swing. I think Novak's has been taken to his 5th set.
I know.
As we speak.
And John McEnroe's complaining about the scheduling, him finishing at 3 o'clock in the
Go.
morning.
It's all going off,
He started off already.
It is all going off. I mean, it's a tournament you actually won back in '76 as well, Sue.
Oh, my word, yes.
Got a lovely picture of you
here.
here.
There we go.
With a trophy.
Black and white,
that
of course.
apparently you lost after 3 hours after winning it.
Yes, complete lost the trophy and the medal. People gave me champagne, and then I got on the plane, I had champagne. I got to the hotel. I thought, I'm really going to live it up. I booked into the Post House Hotel at Heathrow. And then I woke up in the morning, all gone, didn't know what had happened.
Wow.
So, and never replaced.
Have you looked for it on eBay?
Yeah, it's a good shout.
Very good
shout.
They need to replace that.
Well, Wimbledon, of course, around the corner. And it's been your home, Sue, for 50 years.
I know.
Now, last year was the first time that you were able to go as a fan.
Yeah.
How was that? Because it must have been weird and brilliant in equal measures.
Look, I mean, I loved the job. I missed the job. I missed the people, don't get me wrong. But I loved being a fan as well. Just going along there, first day, baseball cap on. I went and queued up for a hot dog. I went and sat on court 15 and watched these kids battling away, you know, best of 3 sets. And just loved the whole Wimbledon experience. And went to, they have a last 8 club because I made the semi-finals there and get in the last 8 club. And the final, I've never been able to watch any of the finals because I've always been working them. And I got to watch the men's final between Alcaraz and Djokovic. It was one of the greatest ever.
Yeah.
And I was sitting with my husband in our seats, in the members' seats, sitting next to Sir Ian McKellen, the great actor, who was so excited about Carlos Alcaraz. Oh, he loved Alcaraz. And in the end, we were both screaming, you know, come on, you know, Carlos, Carlitos, and all this, you know. He made it for me. It was absolutely fantastic.
Does your pass still work?
They didn't give me a pass. I had to...
This was fine. The Sue Barker pass.
It didn't work. It didn't work either.
Should be able to walk in any time.
Exactly. So you've written a new book, Sue, and each chapter of the book looks at a specific player. I mean, that's... I would say risky, but how did you decide who gets these special chapters in your book?
Well, I sort of did it through the ages. So I started with the likes of people I grew up watching, like Rod Laver and Billie Jean King. And Billie Jean King's been an absolute inspiration to me and a mentor and still one of my best friends. She's already WhatsApped me to say we're meeting for cups of tea at Wimbledon, you know. So, and then going through all the great moments of Wimbledon, you know, the Borg-McEnroe era, Chrissy and Martina, Steffi Graf, Monica Seles, and then right the way up through to Andy Murray and everything. So it's been really enjoyable. And because I've interviewed them sort of on court and off court so much, it was putting together all those memories and everything, and some of the fun stories as well that went on at Wimbledon. So a lot of anecdotes as well.
We'll get to John McEnroe's goss in a sec. But Tina, this is perfect because you're a big tennis fan yourself, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, I was big in the 80s. You know, I was a McEnroe fan. That was my peak era, in the late 80s, and now he lives in my neighborhood.
Oh.
Now he's just a guy I see in my neighborhood sometimes.
I've been to his house and his art gallery.
Hang on a minute. Have you? What's it like?
It's unbelievable. Got a view over Central Park.
Yeah.
It's amazing. He bought it in the 70s. He was very savvy with his money. First bit of prize money he got, he bought this, and now I don't even want to know how much it's worth. And he's got his own art gallery and everything, and it's, we spent a few days with him. It was great fun.
You love being taken around someone's house.
Oh, I do.
Just, take me inside. What's going on?
I agree. Anytime you can see in somebody's house,
Tells you a lot about
Perfect.
You know, you mentioned there, Sue, about Billie Jean King and kind of how close you are. I mean, every kind of like young tennis player's dream would be to play centre court at Wimbledon. It's kind of, you know, it's the place that you always want to be. You actually used to visualise, didn't you, playing against Billie Jean King? And it came true, it happened.
It happened, yes. On my garage wall as a kid, I used to always be playing Billie Jean. I was always winning in 3 sets. It was magnificent. I was celebrating. My dream became reality. I went on court. I was off in less than an hour. I won 4 games. But, I mean, yeah, but she's a legend.
Yeah,
she's a legend.
is.
But remarkably, last year at this aforementioned Last 8 Club, I was just sitting in the corner having a bit of lunch, having my little chicken teriyaki, and then suddenly this girl came in, an American girl called Mona Garant. She goes, Sue, you're the reason that I'm here in the Last 8 Club. And I said, oh, were you going to tell me that you beat me in the last 16 in straight sets? She goes, no, we got to the semi-finals of the doubles. And I said, I don't remember playing with you, Mona. She said, don't you remember who we beat in the quarterfinals? I said, I don't remember playing with you. I don't remember who we beat in the quarterfinals. She goes, Martina Navratilova and Billie Jean King.
No.
I said to her, if I'd beaten those 2 legends of the game, I would have the umpire sheet strapped to my front door so I could see it every time I walked in. And so we had to get out the old phones.
So it had happened, you've forgotten about it?
Yes, won 6-4 in the third.
Oh, wow.
In the quarterfinals of Wimbledon,
unbelievable.
got through to the semi-finals. So
So you did beat her?
Yes, but it's a bit of a worry that I couldn't remember beating those 2 legends of the game.
Wow. So many highlights, you see. So many highlights.
You've mentioned so many names here today, Sue. I mean, you had this interview, didn't you, with McEnroe, Connors, Borg as well on court. This was like a pinch me moment, you described it as.
It really was, to see these 3 guys walking onto court. This is our era, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, this is, the great beyond Borg, Jimmy and Mac. And Borg, man of few words, but knows so much about the game. The other 2, we couldn't shut up. But it was wonderful that they walked on court and all the photographers wanted a picture of the 3 of them and they were bustling around. And I said, no, they're coming live on the BBC. I said, they can't be looking at photos. I said, I'll get them to do a photograph at the end if you'll just all be quiet now. So they agreed. And so we got to the end of the interview because we were previewing Andy Murray against Roger Federer for 2012. So there was a lot to talk about. And at the end of it, they said, well, can we have the photo now? And I just said, in a moment. And I just stood in the middle of the 3 boys because I thought, I'm not going to miss this opportunity because this is going to be in my hallway at home. This I'm going to have in my hallway. So I got my picture with the 3 of them. And then the photographer said, now, can you leave? And I went, yes. And they got the picture they really wanted, so it was all right.
Brilliant. Sue's book, Wimbledon, A Personal History, is out on Thursday.
Oh, I'm going to get that book.
And now, whilst we're on this subject of sport, it was really sad news yesterday as rugby league legend Rob Burrow. He died at the age of 41. He really was a legend within rugby league. The whole kind of community, poured out with messages yesterday of support for the family. So, what a lovely man.
He was, and although short in stature, he was a giant on the pitch. He was so tough and so strong, and that's the way he's been since being diagnosed with motor neuron disease. And how he's dealt with it, and what he's done to raise money, particularly with his best mate Kevin Sinfield. Almost 15 million pounds they've raised to help. And when they're digging the first of the wards today that's going to be in his name. So truly inspirational man.
Thank you very much. Sue. Thank you.
Well, there is a BBC documentary called There's Only One Rob Burrow tonight at 8:30 on BBC One. And of course, our thoughts are with his family and friends as well.
Thank you very much, guys. Still to come, we'll be talking to Tina about her new musical. But first, we're chatting. Now, Tina, you were the lead writer on Saturday Night Live. You also wrote on 30 Rock and, of course, Mean Girls. Did you start writing at like a really young age yourself?
Yeah, I think all kids are great at making up stories, and then at some point, it becomes schoolwork, and you think, well, now it's hard. But I think I was just sort of writing by assignment in school, but I had a teacher when I was in 8th grade, which for us is like 12 years old, who really, really inspired me, because we all had to write some kind of essay. I remember we had to write an essay from the point of view of a household object. We had to pick some object and write from that point of view. And I think I wrote an essay about being a house key in a kid's pocket who was waiting to, I'm going to get him back in the house after school. Just some little essay, and I probably tried to be funny in it. But I had this great teacher, Mr. Novelli, who wrote on my essay, you are a writer, you should keep writing. And he just really inspired me to see myself that way. And so things like these kind of contests, everybody has an artist within them and a writer within them, and it's just a matter of letting yourself feel that way, and then you're motivated to keep going.
Some words of encouragement can make all the difference, can't they? Now then, Mean Girls.
Yeah.
I am very excited.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Oh,
Me
you've
too.
written a musical version, Sue. Let's go now. So for those who don't know, Mean Girls is about kind of cliques and stuff in school. It's been on Broadway, huge hit. It's had 12 Tony Awards. Nominations. Let's go with awards.
They deserve them, let's face it. They deserve them.
What's in store then for British audiences?
Well, a wonderful good time. So the movie now is 20 years since the first movie, which was 20 years ago.
Wow.
That the first movie came out, and about 10 years ago, I started having people approach me saying, like, we'd like to turn this into a musical, as if I had the control over it. And I didn't. Paramount Pictures has the control over it. But I thought, you know what? If people are asking about this, I want to do it. I don't want some stranger to do it. This is my baby. So, 8 or so years ago, my husband, who's a composer who wrote a lot of music for Saturday Night Live and wrote the theme of 30 Rock and a bunch of other things, we started working with a lyricist named Nell Benjamin, who was the lyrics for Legally Blonde with her husband, which I know ran here a long time, and then Casey Nicola, who was the director of Book of Mormon. We all started working together, and then in 2017, I think, the musical opened on Broadway, and it's been like a wonderful experience to take these characters, have them sing. Now, in the last year, we did a movie version of the musical, which is now, I think, on Paramount Plus. But now we were 2 years in on Broadway, and it was just like this joyful experience, and the house was full every night, and people were loving it. And then 2020, the pandemic, everything closed on Broadway for a long time, and I know everything closed here in the West End, and that really delayed our path here, but now we're finally here. We have this gorgeous, joyful, wonderful young cast who I can't wait for people to see on the West End.
Oh, there they are.
Yeah, look, they're so cute. Look at them. Oh my goodness. And so we start previews next week, this week. This week, yeah.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
And so it's a really fun time. It's a show that you can bring your, 12-year-old kids to, but you also can come like with your gal pals. Like we used to see that. We used to see a lot of hen nights, as you would call them, on Broadway, of ladies coming out. It's just a really funny, good, fun show.
Great. You mentioned your husband.
Yes.
I loved this, Sue. Apparently, you said you really liked him because he had a Welsh face.
Yeah, he is of Welsh descent. There he is. Look at that face. That's a Welsh face,
Well,
wouldn't you
it's
say?
Sir Anthony Hopkins,
It's giving
isn't
Sir
it?
Anthony Hopkins.
Definitely.
Yeah, and now he's got a big beard and he looks like Michael Sheen, like that.
He's just going through all the Welshies.
Yeah.
Sir Tom Jones now.
Tom Jones. I was here working a couple years ago, and I was staying in Fulham, and I was taking a walk by the park by Fulham Palace, and there was this big, like, carved stone statue, and my daughter and I were like, that's Dad, right? That's just like Dad's face in a park. So yeah.
Looks friendly.
Looks very friendly.
face.
It's very friendly. So what is next for you, Tina? Because I hear you're going to be reunited with the legend that is Steve Carell as well, possibly for a new comedy series.
Working on a new comedy series. We're writing it right now. It's based on, there's a movie from 1980 called The Four Seasons. Have you ever seen that movie with Alan Alda and Carol Burnett? Was the original movie. And it follows 3 couples who are longtime friends, and you only see them
through the seasons.
They go on vacation every season of the year, and you see like how their lives are changing. And so I've always loved that movie, and I've always wanted to redo it, and we're turning it into a series. And so Steve Carell is going to be in it, and some other amazing people who their names will come out soon. But I can't wait to go on 4 vacations with Steve.
You are the dream team.
Yeah.
Yes,
We're excited about that. Well, Mean Girls, the musical, will be on at the Savoy Theatre in London from Wednesday. Let's go now.
Were you a mean girl?
That's cute.
Was you a mean girl?
No, I was really goody two-shoes.
Oh, was you a nice one? Yeah.
I believe that.
Anyway, thank you very much, Tina and Sue. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
We'll be back tomorrow, and joining us will be Kim Marsh and singer Delta Goodrum. Have a great evening. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Good night.